Today, we're celebrating more than 100 extraordinary Hollywood actresses who each reached or even crossed 100-year mark. Some of these legends are still with us. Others left behind unforgettable legacies. In this video, we'll pay tribute to all of them. Those who are still here and those who graced our screens for over a century. So get comfortable, stay tuned, and be sure to subscribe for more incredible stories. Let's begin with the actresses who are over 100 years old and still very much alive and thriving. Meta Velander. Meta Velander, born in 1924, has quietly woven her talent into Swedish theater for a full century. Never one to chase the spotlight, she still reminds us that dedication can outlast fleeting trends. Reflecting on her enduring grace, we now discover another performer who carried her subtle charm across different shores. Priscilla Pointer. Is there a secret to such a long artistic journey? Priscilla Pointer, born in 1924, might know. At 100, this American actress still symbolizes unassuming stability on stage and screen. Inspired by her calm presence, let's wander further and see how timeless performances whisper across Hollywood's evolving decades. Eva Marie Saint. Remember Eva Marie Saint? Born in 1924, this Academy Award winner captivated audiences with On the Waterfront and Beyond. At 100, her elegance endures, reminding us that true star power never dims. As we leave her familiar Hollywood glow, our path now leads to a life shaped by multiple cultures and languages. Alexandra Mishkova. In Europe's mosaic, Alexandra Mishkova, born 1922, blended Czech origins with Norwegian influence. At 102, her story whispers through lesser-known performances, quietly connecting distant audiences. Without fame's glare, she still enriches the tapestry of acting's rich heritage. From one continent to another, we now head toward Britain's stage for another centenarian's tale. Annabel Mall. Annabel Mall, born 1922, once stood beneath the footlights of Britain's venerable theaters. At 102, her strength isn't measured in trophies, but in steady devotion to craft. Hers is a voice of continuity, echoing through changing seasons. From British boards, we journey westward again, where a dancer's legacy endures in gentle steps. Karen Marshall. Imagine stepping into Oz itself. Karen Marshall, born in 1919, danced alongside legends, even doubling for Judy Garland. Now 105, she keeps Hollywood's golden memories shimmering. Her graceful moves whisper that art's rhythm never ends. With her story, we close this circle of remarkable lives that simply refuse to fade. Ellaline Terrace. In Victorian Britain, Ellaline Terrace sang and danced her way into audiences' hearts, bridging stage and silent film. A 100-year life framed by shifting entertainment eras, she shone brightly as a musical performer. From her world of operettas, we turn to a voice that rose from distant shores. Jenny Alpha. Across the Atlantic, Jenny Alpha, born in Martinique and celebrated in France, infused her century with songs and roles that echoed a Caribbean heritage. A pioneering actress and singer, she blended old and new worlds. From her cultural tapestry, we move on to a Hollywood story spanning another remarkable century. Gloria Dea. Imagine stepping into a Las Vegas showroom during its early days, where Gloria Dea, 1922 to 2023, dazzled as an actress, dancer, and even a magician. She lived to 100, blending old Hollywood charm with showbiz flair. From her world of enchantment, we now drift toward another star who witnessed cinema's golden dawn. Louise Curry. Louise Curry, 1913 to 2013, rode the wave of Hollywood's black and white era, lending grace and strength to film serials. Living a full century, she saw movies transition from silent rooms to technicolor dreams. From her vintage spotlight, we move on, tracing further back to a performer who linked silent screens and talkies. Claire Dubray. If Hollywood's evolution had a face, Claire Dubray might have worn it. Acting through silent pictures and early talkies, she reached 100, quietly observing the industry's rapid transformations. Departing her era, we now cross the Atlantic to meet another talent who brought a warm smile to British audiences. Emily Perry. In Britain's television and theater circles, Emily Perry became a cherished figure. Known best for her role as Madge on Last of the Summer Wine, she found timeless recognition. Living for a century, her gentle humor connected generations. From British laughter, let's turn to another UK actress who shaped silver and small screens alike. Helen Shingler. Helen Shingler, 1919 to 2019, bridged film and television, embracing roles that spanned decades in British entertainment. Her century-long life offered a front-row seat to cultural shifts in storytelling's evolution. As we close her chapter, we witness once again that longevity and talent travel hand in hand, forever linking these remarkable lives. Sheila Mercier, soft-spoken yet memorable, Sheila Mercier graced British television, winning hearts as Annie Sugden on Emmerdale Farm. Reaching a full century, she witnessed broadcast drama flourishing from grainy sets to modern screens. Leaving her quiet English countryside behind, let's step into another story, drifting south to a voice that rose in Italy's cinematic playground. Anna Campori. In Italy's vibrant film world, Anna Campori shimmered with a playful warmth, often lighting comedic scenes with a friendly smile. Living to 100, she bridged a century of European creativity. As her laughter fades, our journey leads back north, where another timeless performer quietly enriched British cinema for decades. Marjorie Mason. Marjorie Mason emerged within British storytelling, her career spanning silent halls to modern movie magic. Even Harry Potter fans remember her brief appearances fondly. After living a century, she left behind a subtle legacy. Paulette Dubos. In France, Paulette Dubos enchanted audiences in films like The Rules of the Game, radiating a mischievous charm. Reaching 100, she saw fashions and cinemas change, yet her spirit stayed light. With her story told, we close another chapter in the grand anthology of centenarian actresses who transcended time and language. Franca Valeri. From witty sketches to thoughtful monologues, Franca Valeri proved Italian cinema could be both clever and heartfelt. Across 100 years, she penned and performed with a sharp tongue and gentle humor. As her final bow ended, we found ourselves drifting toward another European star known for grace and longevity. Danielle Darrieux. Imagine stepping into a French salon where Danielle Darrieux charmed audiences for decades. Her delicate voice and elegant presence spanned 100 years, shaping musical comedies, dramas, and romances. Leaving her timeless Parisian aura behind, we now cross the Atlantic to meet a figure who, even late in life, sailed grand cinematic waves. Gloria Stewart. Gloria Stewart, who famously portrayed the elder Rose in Titanic, reached a full century. Her youthful silent era beginnings led to a resurgence in her twilight years. As we bid her adieu, let's tune our ears to a British talent whose 100-year journey expressed itself through dance and a singular voice. Glynis Johns. Glynis Johns danced, sang, and charmed her way into British and Hollywood hearts for a century. That distinctive throaty chuckle echoed through classics like Mary Poppins. Now leaving her playful magic behind, let's return to America's earlier days, when a tiny child star called Baby Peggy forever stamped her name in silent film lore. Vilma Jamnica. Vilma Jamnica, a Slovakian talent, quietly lit stages and screens with subtle charm. Living 101 years, she stood as a witness to changing borders and shifting aesthetics. Leaving these Central European echoes, we drift southward, drawn by the warmth of Brazilian rhythms and the enduring smile of another century-spanning actress. Nelma Costa. In Brazil, Nelma Costa embraced acting's many moods, extending her career across decades in a land of vibrant culture and color. At 101, she still embodied the heart of storytelling. Having reached this point, we realize once more that art and devotion can span continents, languages, and full centuries of life. Ingrid Luterkort. Ingrid Luterkort was a Swedish actress who spent many years on stage and in films, guiding audiences through shifting styles of acting. She reached the age of 101, showing that a life in the arts can last a very long time. Elena Lucena. Elena Lucena was an Argentine actress who brought laughter and light to cinema in her home country. Living to 101, she watched film evolve from simple tales to modern stories. Her joyful spirit reminds us that entertainment can cross borders. Now we are moving from South America back to Europe, Gwen Franklin Davies. Gwen Franklin Davies was a British actress known for her elegant performances in theater and film. Over 101 years, she adapted to changing times, but always kept her voice strong. She showed how classic skills can shine through decades. Leaving Britain's stages behind, we look next to an American performer. Dorothy Stickney. Dorothy Stickney was an American actress who stood out on Broadway and in films. She lived 101 years, watching acting go from silent screens to talkies, and theater from small stages to grand productions. Her lasting joy encourages us to value the classics. Let's move forward in time, yet stay stateside. Faye Mackenzie. Faye Mackenzie appeared in Western films and other Hollywood productions. Her presence over a century linked old Hollywood glamour with more modern tastes. She reminds us how films can reflect a changing nation. As we leave her Western charm, we meet yet another American who took a different path. Margia Dean. Margia Dean started as a beauty queen before becoming an American stage and screen actress. Over 101 years, she witnessed entertainment styles shift, but beauty and talent remained valued. Her journey shows that life can have many chapters. Now we move from pageants and screens to another artist across the pond. Athene Saylor, a British actress, became famous for her comic roles and distinctive voice. She lived long enough to see huge changes in acting and production styles. Her life encourages us to appreciate humor that stands the test of time. With her story told, we look at a voice that crossed borders. Marta Egerth. Marta Egerth was a Hungarian-born American actress and singer who lit up both European and American stages. She lived through times of cultural exchange and embraced two continents. Her songs bridged old traditions and new worlds. As we leave her melodies, we return once more to South America's artistic heart. Amelia Benz. Amelia Benz was an Argentine film actress who brought emotion and depth to each role. Over 101 years, she saw her nation's cinema rise and change. She reminds us that film can capture a country's soul. With her final scene, we end this journey through lives that spanned a century. Meg Mundy. Meg Mundy, born in England and raised in America, gained recognition on Broadway and in television. Her career reflected a world growing smaller, blending British roots with American storytelling. After her 101 years, we moved on from these transatlantic ties to celebrate someone who danced gracefully through decades of change. Marge Champion. Marge Champion shined as an American dancer, choreographer, and actress. She modeled movements for Disney's Snow White and brought elegant motion to Hollywood. Her 101 years revealed how dance and film could unite. Leaving her graceful steps behind, we now head east to discover another artist who defined resilience in Europe. Dirce Gonçalves. Dirce Gonçalves was Brazil's queen of comedy, fearlessly poking fun at everything around her. Over 101 lively years, she changed the face of television and theater. With her laughter fading into memory, we cross continents again, finding a French actress whose talent also endured an entire century. Micheline Pressel. Micheline Pressel brought sophistication and talent to French cinema, shining in European and American productions. Celebrating 101 years, she maintained a quiet poise on and off the screen. Exiting her world of continental charm, we move eastward once more, stepping into the life of a Soviet-Russian star who outlived even these centenarians. Mariuccia Medici. Born in 1910, Mariuccia Medici brought warmth to Swiss stages. Her 102-year life saw her guide audiences through simple, heartfelt stories. As we leave her gentle world, we turn toward a performer who crossed oceans, blending American and British influences on stage. Dorothy Dixon. Dorothy Dixon danced and sang through an age of changing entertainment, bridging American vaudeville and British West End charm. She entertained for over a century, adapting to new styles with grace. Stepping from her spotlight, we now move to an Italian artist, Etta Moten Barnett. Etta Moten Barnett brought her vibrant voice to American theaters, blending acting and singing into a unified art. She lived through dramatic cultural changes, yet stayed true to her craft. With her tunes still echoing, let's return to modern times in America, where a fresh television face found late recognition. Nelly Omar. Nelly Omar filled Argentina's cinemas and radios with passionate performances, singing tangos that captured the nation's heart. Over 102 years, she blended heritage with creativity. Leaving behind her melodies, we traveled north again to Europe, discovering a French artist who danced, acted, and sang with timeless charm. Suzy Dallaire. Suzy Dallaire brightened French entertainment through films, dance halls, and joyful singing. Her lively presence spanned decades, connecting old traditions with modern flair. Drifting away from her Parisian energy, we ventured to the Caribbean, where a Jamaican actress carried her own cultural stories across a century. Lois Kelly Miller. Lois Kelly Miller nurtured Jamaican theater and film, showing that local art can shine globally. Over 102 years, she introduced her island's rhythms and stories to the world. With her tale told, we've explored many lands and eras, discovering that talent, perseverance. Zora Segal. Zora Segal began as a dancer and became a beloved Indian actress who brought humor and heart to her roles. Living to 102, she spanned silent beginnings and modern screens. Stepping away from her world of lively movement, we turn to another performer who also witnessed vast cultural changes in Europe. Danuta Szaflarska. Danuta Szaflarska emerged from Poland's turbulent history to captivate audiences in film and theater. Her 102-year life reflected perseverance, as she remained a steady figure in Polish cinema's evolution. Leaving her resilient spirit behind, we now look toward a French actress who also measured her career in decades rather than years. Marie Glory. Marie Glory graced French silent films and sound features alike. For 103 years, she watched her craft transform from shaky footage to polished productions. Our journey now carries us toward an Italian artist who sang through changing times as well as shifting stages. Leah Origoni. Leah Origoni blended Italian flair with a love for performance, contributing a subtle strength to each role. Surviving more than a century, her work reflected a creative spirit that never faded. Leaving her timeless voice, we head back across the ocean, where American talent also endured multiple eras. Gertrude Jeanette. Gertrude Jeanette thrived not only as an actress, but also a theater director and producer. Her century-plus life brought new narratives to the stage, championing fresh voices. Inspired by her leadership, we now meet another American star who once sparkled silently in Hollywood's early days. Pauline Wagner. Pauline Wagner embraced the charm of early American cinema, serving as a stand-in for great stars and holding on to Hollywood's golden memories. Her 103 years saw film's infancy and maturity. With her in mind, we shift focus to France again, where yet another actress danced through decades of change. Yvette Le Bon. Yvette Le Bon illuminated French films with grace and optimism, navigating a century's worth of evolving trends. Her enduring presence linked past glories to newer audiences. Departing her European elegance, we traveled toward North America again, where a Canadian-born performer conquered silent and talking pictures alike. Barbara Kent. Barbara Kent crossed borders, stepping into Hollywood as a Canadian-born American actress who shined in silent classics. Living to 103, she witnessed the dawn of sound and the rise of modern film. With her story told, we reflect on a global tapestry of actresses who prove that art and resilience transcend time. Kathleen Harrison. Kathleen Harrison made audiences feel right at home, often appearing as warm, familiar characters. Reaching 103, she saw film and television grow from novelties into everyday comforts. With her gentle style lingering in memory, we now turn to a different figure who brought a touch of elegance to Hollywood. Patricia Morrison. Effortless elegance defined Patricia Morrison, an American actress who sang on Broadway and charmed in films. Over 103 years, she witnessed entertainment broaden its horizons. After savoring her refinement, let's look toward a performer who found a place on stage before stardom, Georgette Rajewski. Georgette Rajewski, born in Belgium but making her mark in the Netherlands, saw acting shift from local playhouses to international screens. She reached 104, quietly observing changes in style and taste. Moving on from her cross-border journey, we return to American soil, catching a glimpse of silent-era enchantment. Yvonne Howell. Silent films needed no words, and Yvonne Howell knew how to speak volumes with a glance. Reaching 104, she lived through sound's arrival and color's bloom. Leaving behind her silent charm, we set our sights on Italy, where another actress thrived amid changing cinematic landscapes. Anna Maria Bottini. Anna Maria Bottini belonged to an Italian film era that blossomed after war and recovery. Her century-plus life, 104 years, mirrored a country rediscovering its cultural voice. Departing her world of subtle performances, we look again to America, where one actress danced through the early days of Hollywood horror. Carla Laemmle. Carla Laemmle stepped into early Universal monster classics, speaking lines in Dracula and living 104 years to tell the tale. She bridged silent flickers and talking wonders. As her otherworldly whispers fade, our journey takes us back to American simplicity, where another starlet represented youthful charm on the screen. Mary Carlisle. Mary Carlisle was that sweet face in American musicals and comedies, spanning a 104-year life that followed Hollywood from black and white to Technicolor. After lingering on her gentle smile, we discover a different American figure, who also stood before cameras, but as both actress and model. Branka Veselinović. Branka Veselinović enlivened Serbian theaters for over a century, her 104-year life reflecting a deep love for performing arts. She remained active well into old age. Leaving her Balkan legacy behind, we now meet a star who crossed multiple cultures and held a pair of Oscar statuettes. Louise Rayner. Louise Rayner, a German-born British-American actress, won 2 Oscars in the 1930s and lived to 104. She experienced Hollywood's golden age and its many reinventions. After saluting her remarkable feats, we return to America for a performer who quietly resisted Hollywood's darkness with kindness and grace. Marsha Hunt. Marsha Hunt challenged Hollywood's blacklist era while maintaining compassion and dignity. Over 104 years, she advocated fairness and human rights. Leaving her moral courage behind, we turn to a British-born star who dazzled Hollywood with grace, Mary Ellis. Mary Ellis, an American-born actress who made her home in British theater, lived 105 years and thrived in operetta and drama. She blended cultures and styles on stage. Leaving her transatlantic journey, we headed west again, where an American actress brought joy well into her second century. Connie Sawyer. Connie Sawyer, America's oldest working actress at 105, showed that small comic roles can touch many hearts. She saw Hollywood evolve and never stopped smiling. From her enduring humor, we turn to a British radio voice who played a long-beloved part in listeners' daily lives. June Spencer. June Spencer, a British radio actress, portrayed Peggy Woolley on The Archers for over 70 years, living to 105. Her steady performance comforted listeners as the world changed around them. With her gentle voice now silent, we close this grand circle of centenarian actresses who prove that true talent never grows old. Mary Ward Breheny. In Australia, Mary Ward Breheny brought stories to life through radio and television. She stayed active for 106 years, witnessing media grow from scratchy broadcasts to polished productions. Leaving behind her comforting voice, we move ahead to another performer, Julie Gibson. Julie Gibson sang through America's stages and charmed cameras as well, her voice echoing through a century and more. At 106, she saw musicals and films evolve hand in hand. Closing the curtain on her gentle tunes, we meet another artist who danced through a legendary era. Doris Eaton Travis. Doris Eaton Travis began as a Ziegfeld girl and ended as a living link to Broadway's golden age. As an actress, dance instructor, and a rare survivor of that iconic troupe, she reached 106. Moving on from her high-kicking days, we turn to someone who bridged cultures in Hollywood's early years. Lupita Tovar. Lupita Tovar, a Mexican-American actress, starred in Spanish-language versions of classics, connecting Latin heritage with Hollywood's rise. She lived 106 years, witnessing films moving beyond borders. From her bilingual world, we journey north to a Norwegian stage where another artist guided performances from behind the scenes as well. Gladys O'Connor. Gladys O'Connor brought depth to British-Canadian cinema, her roles sometimes small but always heartfelt. Surviving 108 years, she stood as a calm witness to entertainment's progression. Stepping away from her gentle warmth, we move to Switzerland, where another performer found her calling in both acting and broadcasting. Renée Simoneau. Renée Simoneau was a French actress and voice artist, nurturing a love for performance that lasted 109 years. As the mother of Catherine Deneuve, she passed on both talent and passion. With her final bow, we have explored how these extraordinary women carry drama, proving art's endurance across time.